Hi guys, you're watching Soleful Discussions.
All right, so hi, how are you two doing today?
Great, doing
All right.
good.
Nice.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm out here on a Sunday. It's not raining anymore, so it's pretty good. How did I just meet you guys right now? How did we meet?
Well, we were just sitting on the bench,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for our meeting to start, and you came over and asked if you could interview us
Okay.
about some topics. And we said,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, do you guys remember what the topics were? I gave you 3 topics. Do you remember those?
Feet,
Yep.
mental health, and reflexology.
Correct. There it is. We got it together. Tandem. There it is. In terms of when you hear feet, what do you think about? First thing that goes through your mind.
Pedicure.
Pedicure. Okay.
So we used to get grounded in the world.
Grounded. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so today we're going to ask you guys some questions about your thoughts about feet. Feel free to answer however you like in those moments. Don't feel like you got to answer a certain way, just however you feel, okay? What about mental health? You hear that, what comes to mind? What do you think about?
Mental health is a disease.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are uncured that some people don't know about mental health.
Okay.
I think mental health is really important. I feel like there's such like a stigma on it where people like don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think it's important.
Okay, cool. Today we're going to talk a little bit about like social media, the impacts it can have on like depression, anxiety. Just like to get your thoughts about that once we start talking about it, okay? And then lastly, reflexology. We kind of talked about it a little bit on our way over here. I'm going to give you some information about that, and you guys just tell me how you feel about it after I'm done, okay?
All
Sound good?
Good.
All right, let's start with the first question. What are your thoughts about how the world is starting to become more aware of mental health and what we're starting to do about it? How do you feel about that?
You want to go? You want me to go? Okay. I think it's important. Like I said, I feel like there was such a stigma on it and people don't want to talk about it, so they're not getting what they need, you know? But now that it's becoming like more known and people are actually like you don't have to like get a pill for it, you know? There's so many different ways that you can go about it and
Absolutely.
you know, help it.
So the
I think it's important.
normalization is like something that's like really big right now, whereas maybe, because I always talk about this like on my channel, like it's like 15, 20 years ago, like if you would have went to people and told them like, hey, I'm feeling anxious, I feel like, you know, you got dealing with depression, most people just tell you, oh, just get past it, right? Just like, it's nothing going on, just like you're just stuck in a rut. Whereas now, like if you say that, people like actually take more like notice of it, they're willing to talk to you about it and like try to help you out with that. So definitely we've come a long way with that.
Yeah.
Did you want to answer for this, or are you going to wait for the next one?
I think it's very important because everything comes to your childhood.
Yeah.
I learned that I do have mental health issues, PTSD mostly because of traumatic events that happened.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in this lifetime of mine, I'm learning about my disease, which I suffer from drug addiction.
Yeah.
And so with that is they're teaching us where it all started from.
Where it stems from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's from childhood.
Yeah.
You know, they say sometimes things are genetics to your parents.
Yeah.
And sometimes I did have to get evaluated, you know, to see if I fit in what my parents had. And sometimes it wasn't.
Yeah. Sometimes it could have been stuff that like you dealt with that was separate from that. There are things that we can connect back to, like if you look at those moments, like oh that right there, that was like what kind of like triggered this, or this is what like caused me to go this way, right? But then there's sometimes where it's just us, like we just sometimes, you know, we're in those moments and like sometimes our emotions or however we feel in that moment, we decide to do something. So I definitely think that's great that you like on that journey to try to like, you know, work on that. And I think that we all, because you kind of said, you know, some people, but I think we all kind of deal with mental health, right? And we're all like, it's just some people don't tend to like want to go get their work done for it, right? To actually like confront those things that we've had in our past, like things that have been done to us, things that we may have done to others. Like to be able to confront that is a really big step in like the healing journey. So I think that that's really great. In terms of social media, right? What are your thoughts about it? And then how do you yourself use social media?
Oh, well, this one for me, I think social media is great to a certain extent.
Okay.
But for me personally, like I would do the comparison, you know, like I don't know. I think like you have to find the balance, because if you do it too much, if you're on it too much, like it's not healthy, you know, because it like people just put what they want you to see, you know, you don't see what's really going on behind closed doors.
Exactly.
Like they could look like they have the perfect life, but really behind closed doors you have no idea. So it's just, you don't know what to believe. And like that gets people like, if you're looking at celebrities, models, whatever it is, like you're gonna compare
Influencers, right?
exactly. And
Yeah.
for me, I like struggled with that for a while, so I had to take like a break.
A break from it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like, you know, if it's not something that's important to you, it's not like really connecting to anything in your life, like why allow these things to enter in, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. What about for you?
For me, what was the question again?
Oh, social media. What are your thoughts about social media? And then how do you yourself use social media?
How I use social media is I use it for resource.
Okay.
I don't pay attention to the media, all of that stuff. It's irrelevant to my life, you know. And I feel like some people need to use it what it's for only, like resources, finding houses, helping out your community. That's what the website's for.
Yeah.
Not to make someone have a false life that, you know, like you said. Like, for example, I follow this guy on Instagram called Legend, and he came out to where he had depression, and he told the world that it's okay to tell people that you're not feeling good. Tell people, speak about it, you know, talk to someone. You know, people think that his life is everything, but it's not.
Yeah.
And he comes out on social media, which brings a relation to me. Like you said, having a relationship.
Yeah.
Like I could post.
You can connect with it more.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't use social media for violence. I use it for resources.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. And I think that, like, kind of what you said, like, what, you know, the guy Legend said. So I think that that's the thing that people have mixed up, where it's like every day is supposed to be a good day. It's supposed to be sunshine and, you know, birds singing and all this other stuff. And it's like, in reality, like, we all have bad days, like days. Like, I just had a bad day last week at work. Like, you know, it was just like, that's just what the reality was. And it's like, we all deal with that. But it's about being realistic about it, knowing like, hey, you know what, in this moment I'm not feeling good. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to like try to put on this charade for people to like make them think that that's what's going on. Like, I'm okay. No, it's like, I'm not okay. Look, I'm not okay right now. Like, it's just, you can be honest about it, man. So I think that that's really dope that there's somebody out there. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other people who do the same thing that actually like try to promote like expressing your actual feelings in the moments. So it's really dope. It's really dope. So let me ask you this question as a follow-up to that. Let's say somebody came to you, right, and they gave you the power to change something about social media. Is there anything you would change? Do you feel like it's okay the way it is? What are your thoughts?
I would definitely, if I had that sort of little power or whatever, you know, I would definitely want to change. Like she said, like bring awareness to more mental illness, addiction, whatever people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
I think that's what people should, like, I would want to talk about.
That's dope.
You know, because there's, like, as much as we all think we're so different and unique, like, at the end of the day, we're all a lot more similar than we think. We're all going through the same, like, we all have this pretty much the same mental illnesses, you know, just stems from different things, you know?
Absolutely.
So if you, like, want to be the one that talks about what people don't want to talk about, like, it'll help a lot of people.
That's dope. Nice.
Same, I agree. I would talk about things that people don't want to talk about because it has to come out.
Okay.
It really has to come out, and I feel like what brings a person to life is what they don't want to talk about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In terms of anxiety, right? Is there anything you deal with in terms of anxiety? And if so, right, in moments where you like, you don't have to go too in depth with this question, right? Just like maybe more surface level. But with the anxiety you deal with, if you do deal with it, is there anything you do to counteract the emotions that you're feeling in those moments? Like, do you have any type of like things you do? So like for me, it's breathing. Like I have a number that I breathe to kind of help me like calm down. Also like just realizing where I am and like kind of pointing out things like, oh, you know, trees, you know, birds singing. Like, do you guys have anything like that you do when you're feeling anxious?
Yeah, I do breathing techniques a lot.
Okay, nice.
Breathing, I do. I like the whole essential oils, you know, throw on some lavender, you know, calm me down.
Nice.
But yeah, drink water, you know, because I do have anxiety. Like, I never thought I did, but now as I'm getting older, I have like social anxiety, all that stuff. I don't know if it's from like my addiction or what, you know, like whatever it is. But yeah, I do a lot of breathing techniques. I try to do yoga. I try to get exercise when I'm not feeling lazy.
Nice.
Yeah. I think like the breathing techniques definitely.
Okay. What about for you?
For me, I like opening up my Bible.
Okay.
That part.
Yeah. For God to love the world, He gave His only forgotten Son.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the thing. That's what helps me.
Yeah.
Because my father taught me that we have spiritual warfares wherever we go.
Oh man, yeah, you're dealing with multiple, like, right? So not just the physical, but also the spiritual is always around us, and we're dealing with that. We're fighting those battles, and probably fighting those battles more than the actual physical ones that we think we're fighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
So I do that. I love coming to the beach.
Yeah, man. Such a beautiful sight to come out, and that's why I was like, I wanted to come today. Like, I didn't get a chance to go out yesterday. I was like, I want to go today just to like, and for me, like, so just so you guys know, this is also like kind of a therapy for me. When I go out and I do this, I get to talk to, you know, different people, and then also just seeing the sights. I get to walk around, like, kind of experience what's going on and just be in the moment. So absolutely. So yeah, you said going to the beach. What else?
Taking walks. I love taking walks. I'm from San Pedro, so I start from First Street all the way here.
Oh wow, that's quite a walk, man.
It's a long walk.
Yeah, that is quite a walk.
I love seeing historical places.
Okay.
I love looking into the sky because a lot of people don't look into the sky.
Yeah.
I love saying hi to people. My dad's very big on that.
Yeah.
And visiting my loved ones that's been gone.
Yeah.
Even though it's hard, I still do it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, my brother passed away at the age of 18. I was 17 at the time, and yeah, so I'll still go to his gravesite sometimes just to like, you know, I know he's not there physically, but it just makes me feel better to like just be able to go there and talk and just like whatever I'm dealing with, just leave it there. So that's actually pretty dope. In terms of, let's get into these questions now. So I'll be intrigued to see how you guys feel about this. What are your thoughts about your feet? How do you feel about your feet?
Feet kind of freak me out.
Feet freak you out. Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know.
Sometimes we deal with, so I find this sometimes, right? Sometimes people deal with different things like maybe back in the past, where you had a cousin that would always like mess around and like put their feet on you, and then it makes you feel like you develop like the sense of like put his feet on me, right? So it could be that. I know that there's some people who have their parents like held them a lot when they were little, so like now they look at the ground as like a negative thing, so they never want to like put their feet on the ground. So there's different things that like go into that in terms of mental. But yeah, so you have a bad relationship with feet.
I mean, it's
but
like,
we're talking about your own, right?
Yeah.
So you
like,
still feel like that about your own?
I mean, they're kind of cute, you know. As long as I'm like my nails are painted, we're good. But like I don't.
So you're kind of in between about even your own feet.
But I'm the one that likes to walk around barefoot everywhere, you know, like
getting
we
that
were saying.
grounding in.
Yeah, like I was saying, getting the grounding in, because that's how we connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What about for you? What are your thoughts?
I love feet.
Okay.
I love to give my feet massage. It relaxes me.
Okay.
Yeah. Having a long day, having to walk around.
Especially if you've been at work, standing up all day, and then it's like you get home and you're just like throwing the shoes off. It's like, give me that massage real quick, right?
Yeah. I used to have this little foot massage. You just roll your feet back and forth.
Oh yeah. Those are great, man. Like they even have ones that I think that's the one you're talking about. Do they have like the little pointy like kind of things out there and you just roll? Yeah, absolutely. Those are really great because it's actually hitting all those points that you have down there. So it actually will help out with the whole body. That's a great thing right there.
Where do we get one of those?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. You go over to like CVS or Rite Aid. You could even probably get one on Amazon. Absolutely. So let me ask you guys this: have you ever received compliments about your feet before? Anybody ever said, "Hey, you have nice feet"? Has that ever happened to you before?
Yes, they said that my feet are beautiful, but the only thing is they're my big toe and my other toe next to it, they match.
Oh, they're the same size?
Yeah, and someone was making fun of me and I said don't do that, and so I looked it up and they said that you're intelligent, independent. I was just looking into it.
There's actually different type of toe alignments, believe it or not. So like the one that you have is like derives from a certain place. When people have a bigger toe that's bigger than all the other toes, and it kind of goes in a like descending order. It's like an Egyptian toe alignment.
Oh my gosh.
And if the second toe is bigger, it's like an Grecian toe alignment, a Greek toe. So all kinds of different toe alignments. So you have that one. I don't know if that one is the Roman or I'm not sure. I have to look that one up, but I'm pretty sure like there's a different toe alignment that you have. So that's very interesting. What about for you? Compliments?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been told I have cute little toes. They do the little straight.
Also,
yeah.
Egyptian.
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So let me ask you this: when you got a compliment about that, how did that compliment make you feel afterwards? Like, how did you deal with it?
For my toes, I just got over it because words don't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I built myself up.
Yeah. But we're talking about a compliment, like
Oh,
the
sorry.
positive side. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. When you got the positive side, how did that make you feel?
it makes me feel good.
Okay.
I looked into my history.
Exactly. So you said you went and looked it up. You found some stuff out. You're like, hey, actually, I got some, brilliance over here. Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely. What about for you? When you got a compliment, how did it make you feel?
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to receive compliments.
Okay.
So I'm like,
compliments in general.
Yeah.
hard to receive.
So I'm like, oh, like, yeah, they're not that bad, but like, I'll like go about like, I'll get a compliment like, oh no, I have little sausage toes or something,
So you're calling out all these things, even though
Yeah.
you're getting a positive
Yeah.
compliment. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So let me ask you this, right? Not just physical compliments, but compliments in general.
Mhm.
Is there a certain compliment when you get that it makes you feel good? It like it's like pretty much makes your day. Is there anything like that happens like when somebody compliments you? It could be anything.
Maybe my smile or my eyes,
Okay. All right.
or like, not like the looks, but like when you have a good conversation with someone and they're like, oh, yeah, they're like,
absolutely.
oh, like thank you, like for your insight or whatever. Like I like that when you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that today, so like thank you.
Always makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. What about for you? Certain compliment you like to receive, like, or when you get it, it makes you feel good.
My eyes.
Okay.
They tell me that my eyes tell a story.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's do right when you look into them. Like you can like, it's like peering into somebody's soul in a way, right? You get to see some things. I don't see everything, but you get to see like just maybe a little bit of like, oh, okay, cool. And I think that sometimes, because I've gotten this in the past where people are like, you have very kind eyes, right? And I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I don't know how you can tell that, but like some people will say that sometimes, or like you have like, you can tell you're a very strong person because I'm looking at your eyes and you seem to be very strong. So
And you're like,
yeah, you're like, oh, am I?
how are you getting this?
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: how often do you ladies get pedicures?
Not often
Not
enough.
often enough. What about for you?
For me, the last time I got a pedicure was when COVID locked down, when it first started.
Oh, wow.
And so, me being so busy without my days,
Yeah.
I don't get the time to go to a salon.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
sometimes I try to work with Saturdays and Sundays, but if not, I try to do my own.
Okay, so you do your own self-care.
Yeah, I have to do my own because sometimes they don't do it the way I want to,
I
and
hear that a
then
lot.
they say, well, it's a little extra, and so I refuse to just soak them, clean them, and then go.
Okay, nice. Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of a medical pedicure before?
Is that
You probably know.
there's something that they do?
Okay.
Tell me.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not, oh my gosh. It's like at the tip of my tongue.
Okay. I'll say it and you tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
All right. So it's when you go see a podiatrist. It's a specialist of the foot, right? They take a look at your feet. They'll like look at your toenails to make sure they grow correctly. Like some people get ingrown toenails, so they do like the work to cut them to get them back straight. They'll look at your toe alignment to make sure it's right. They check your feet for like dead skin, fungus, do all the work that were like medical grade equipment. All right. Is that kind of what you were talking about?
Yes.
So what are your thoughts about that? Like somebody who can like do that type of work, give you insight into your feet. So it's not about the cosmetic side. It's just about like self-care, that like making sure your feet are healthy. What are your thoughts about that?
I'm all for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I think that what we put into our bodies, what projects what goes out.
Absolutely. And there's some people who like, sometimes they experience like dry feet, and so like sometimes the lotion that they use is not the correct one. So like when you go to a podiatrist, they can tell you the exact type to use. Like, hey, for your type of feet, you need to use this. Because some people, their feet get sweaty more. Some people like don't deal with that at all. Like there's just differences for all of us, like depending on. So it's actually pretty interesting.
We wanted to see one.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how often do you guys wear open-toe shoes, like sandals, flip-flops, things like that?
I think 50-50. I think if I'm in the house, I'll wear sandals.
Okay.
I try not to wear sandals outside because there's a lot of dirt, or I have to have my socks on with my sandals.
Okay. Okay. For you?
I love me a good pair of slides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slides are great.
Socks with the slides though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I end up, like, if I come to the park, I'll end up taking them off and walking around barefoot.
Oh yeah, you gotta get that ground in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But good pair of chanclas.
Exactly. Chanclas. Yeah, there you go. How often do you guys go barefoot, no shoes? How often does that happen?
A lot.
A lot, because you do a lot of grounding. You've been talking about this since we first started. What about for you?
I think 50%.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm one with the ground. I'm like
Okay.
you because people be like, "Oh, they spit on the ground. Here I go walking on it."
Yeah. I mean, I think that you go in your house, man. There's somebody walked in with their shoes and they track something from out. It's you're never gonna be in a space where everything's 100% unless you live in a bubble. So I don't know how you get around that. But yeah, unless you live in a bubble, you can forget it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So now, can we see what your feet look like? Sure. She's like thinking about it.
I'm like, let me see which foot.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, well, we usually like to see both because like we have to do a comparison to see what the difference is.
Oh
with
my
the feet.
gosh.
They're
Okay.
not done.
Oh, we're not worried about that.
Oh my
We're
They're
not
not
worried
cut.
about that. Huh?
They're not cut.
We're not worried about that. It's more about seeing if you can be comfortable in the moment. We've been having a conversation.
I am
Can you
comfortable.
still be comfortable.
Okay.
All right, let me have you guys.
Am I
put
just
your feet-
throwing them up on the
Yeah,
table?
let's throw them up on the table.
Right, here we go.
Sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
Whoop.
She's apologizing right now.
Bam.
Okay, and what size do you wear?
7.
Size 7. Does it vary depending on the type of shoe you wear? Like if you wear a sandal, a heel, is it different?
It's pretty much always a 7.
Okay, always a
We
7.
got a little fuzz
Always
on
a
there.
7.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
fuzz. Hang on.
All right,
I
and
love
we can
the
see
tattoo.
your toe alignment, how it's going from big to small. All
See
right.
what I mean by little sausage toes?
Absolutely. Okay, cool. And then what size do you wear?
7.
You guys both wear a 7.
Yes.
Your feet seem to be a little bit more, I guess, slender, I would say. Yours seem to be like a little bit more, I don't know what like I would like use, but like
Wide.
more proportionate, I guess. But yours are more on the slender, but you as a whole are on the slender side, right? Exactly. All right. So now let me ask you this. How are you feeling in the moment? We're like in the moment,
Good.
like I kind of asked you guys to do this. How you guys feeling?
Good.
Comfortable?
Good. Yeah,
Okay.
sun shining on my little
Sun
toesies, warming
shining.
them up.
Absolutely.
you
So let
know?
me tell you guys a little bit about my YouTube channel, why I got started. You know, you're kind of probably wondering why feet, why are we talking about this? So during quarantine, I was actually watching another guy's channel. He was talking about exposure therapy. Have you ever heard of that before?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So exposure therapy is for, let's say, for example, you feel uncomfortable in a certain situation, like maybe you're afraid of roller coasters, right? You'll go to theme parks, but you're like, I'm not getting on the roller coasters. 'Cause
That's me.
Yeah. So, right. So you go there, you'll walk around, but your friends are getting on and you want to do that, but you don't know how to feel comfortable with that, right? What therapists will tell you, go out and do that, right? Do it over and over again. Because what they want you to do is, in the moment, you're going to feel uncomfortable, right? But you can learn how to regulate your emotions. You can learn to be like, okay, well, I'm feeling like this and that, but is anything happening to me? Like, am I dying? Is my life in like danger or anything like that, right? And if you can answer no to those questions, then it's like, what are you worried about, right?
Yeah.
Move forward, right? Because like sometimes in life, like we'll experience things and sometimes we'll choose to go the other way, and that prevents us from living life to its fullest, right? Just living in the moment. So when I heard that, I was like, man, I've always been an overthinker. I overthink everything. Like I'll literally get something, I'll be like, man, I don't know about this, or should I do this, or what? And so I was like, I want to learn to make snap decisions in certain situations. So I heard about that. I was like, let me start a YouTube channel. I'm gonna use exposure therapy, but I want to talk to women about how they feel about feet. Because there's a lot of people, like, if you notice, there's a lot of women who have become foot models and stuff like that. So, right? So if I go up and I approach the average woman, right, just completely random, how will she feel in that moment that we're having a discussion, right? Will she be comfortable? Will she be uncomfortable, right? And I want to show those interactions like on my channel so that people can learn to be more comfortable with the conversation of feet. Because there's a number of people who feel like it's a weird thing. It's a
Because they never
taboo.
seen somebody else's feet.
Exactly. So like my channel is all about trying to normalize and bring some normalcy to the conversation, right? What do you guys think about that? How do you guys feel about what I'm trying to do with my channel?
I think that's dope.
Okay.
You know, you're talking about what people don't want to talk about.
And there's a lot of people like that. So yeah, that's what my channel is all about. So when I go out and I do this, and I'm going to share my channel with you guys so that way you guys can take a look at it and everything like that, okay? All right, so let's talk about reflexology, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Reflexology is all about those different pressure points we were talking about on the way over here, right? And you have pressure points in your hands and in your feet, right? Those pressure points connect to different parts of your body. So like through massage, which you like, through acupuncture, through acupressure, you can alleviate like stress and tension to various parts of your body, right? There's also a piercing you can get, right, for people who have migraines, right in the ear that'll alleviate that. You did it? Okay.
Yeah, it opened up my eyes. Like what I see now is not what I see when I get acupuncture.
Interesting. Interesting.
Like
So it's a big thing that like people like sometimes don't know about. Like sometimes people turn to pills, don't know that like, hey, I can literally go get a massage and sometimes just alleviate some of that tension I'm feeling. What are your thoughts about that? How do you guys feel about that? What do you think?
I'm all for the holistic, natural way. You know, I feel like everyone should try and start that way. You know, and do whatever they can naturally before they go to a pill.
Absolutely.
I'm all for that.
Absolutely. How about for you?
I'm all for the natural, organic, no salt.
Okay, no salt. Okay, I like
that. Himalayan?
No salt, no sugar. Okay,
yeah. All natural.
All natural. I love it. I love it.
And that's what it has to be, because you could give me a lotion that has chemicals that I don't need in my body.
Oh, good point. Because like
and it goes into my pores.
It absorbs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good point.
This lady that called my mom. Her name is Alma. She makes all organic soap.
Oh, nice.
She made one from oat milk, and it was so good. Like she mixed lavender, like you have in the soap, like all natural.
Okay.
I love doing that.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, so usually when we get to reflexology, we usually talk about sensitivity, right? When you have gotten pedicures, how sensitive are you? Do you ticklish at all in those moments?
I try not to kick him in the face.
Try not to kick him in the face?
Yeah, my feet are really ticklish.
I have a trick for you that can help you be less ticklish in those moments. You mind if we test it out?
Yeah.
Is that cool? All right, cool. And I have a tool to use, so I'm not going to actually touch your feet.
They're clean.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no worries. I just, some people tend to feel uncomfortable with that. They're like, don't touch my feet. So just let you know. Let me just put this down for a quick second. So I can get that tool out. Cool.
Feet is like a car.
It is. It takes us everywhere, man. Transportation-wise.
Who needs the car when you've got feet?
All right, sweet. All right, let's start with you first. All right, I'm gonna start from the bottom to top. Tell me where you feel it at the most. Which foot is most sensitive? Okay, then I'm gonna teach you guys the trick. Okay. Sounds good? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, where are we feeling at the most? Oh, so it was like right when I got right here. Yeah. How sensitive would you say it is? Scale of 1 out of 10.
5.
A 5. Okay. Let's try your left. Let's see how sensitive it's like. 1, 2, 3. All right. How sensitive are we saying? Oh, this one's a little bit more sensitive. What are we saying on that one?
Like a 7.
A 7. Okay, cool. Let's try you out real quick. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Oh, you felt it right away. All right. What are we saying with the sensitivity right here?
It's like a 7.
A 7. Okay. Let's try this one. See if it's more or less. All right. Ready? All right. Here we go. Is it more? This one seems a little bit less. Is it a little bit less?
Yeah, I think this one.
Okay. So here's the trick. Here's what I want you to try. Wiggle your toes. Tell me if you feel it more or less. Wiggle. Is it more, less, the same? It's less, right? Do you know why?
There's a brain in there. What is it doing?
So it's your brain, right? So you're actively thinking about, like, do this action, right? So now you're not focused as much on what's happening. But also because you're moving your toes around and everything, it's actually moving the energy to different areas. So that's a trick for you. You get pedicures, or you feel sensitive, wiggle your toes a little bit, you'll feel it less. Cool? All right, let's try this one. Wiggle here. Is it less? Like, what did it go down to? Because I think you said that one was a 7. What did it go down to?
Like a 2.
Like a 2. There it is. All right, let's try you. Wiggle here. All right. You feel it less or more?
I think a little less.
A little less. What did it go down to?
Like a 5.
Like a 5?
Yeah, like a 4 or 5.
4 or 5? Okay,
yeah.
Let's try this one. Wiggle. Less?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. There it is. So that's my trick for you guys. And now, let me get you guys to do a couple exercises with your feet, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay? Let me get you guys to bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping, anything like that. Easy. Relax. Spread your toes. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, cramping, anything happening.
Thumbs up.
Kind of hard. Okay. Relax. And then lastly, just wiggle your toes for about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel pain, discomfort, any cramping happening. Pretty easy to do. Okay, cool. All right. We're pretty much done. Let's wrap it up. So in terms of my approach, right? I can't. You guys can put your feet.
Okay.
Should I do? I stay like this or
you
not?
stay?
So in terms of my approach, right? I came up to you guys. I was like, hey, can I interview you too for my YouTube channel? What was my approach like? Was it good? Was it bad? What did you think about it?
Friendly.
Yeah.
Friendly? Okay. Appreciate that. Thank
Friendly,
you so much.
welcoming, you know?
Nice.
It's
Nice.
early in the morning. Sometimes people will be like, I don't want to do that, you know? But the way you approached it, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. In terms of the interview, right, start to finish. Could you, oh, wow.
It's okay. Was it a
It's
bee?
still on you, yeah.
Oh, I love bees.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's why he's coming to you.
It's okay. No. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Tight.
In terms of the interview from start to finish, right? Could you see how everything was going in the line? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new from the information I provided?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Last thing I always ask for my channel is if there anything that you can like say to my channel from like a mental health aspect, like maybe a life lesson you learned, wise words that you can share with them that could be helpful. Anything.
I would say, like, whatever mental health, mental illness you're going through, like, don't be afraid to speak up.
Okay.
Because you speaking up, it, like, takes its power away, but also you might be helping someone that might not have the voice to do it, you know? So you could be the voice for other people.
I
So
like
don't ever be afraid to speak up about it.
I like that. What about for you?
What was the question again?
Something that you could say to the channel that could be helpful for them, maybe a life lesson you learned or something that's like a good thing to like follow.
I would say listen to your heart.
Okay.
Give yourself a chance.
Okay.
Give yourself, don't be too down on yourself. You can't be too down on yourself. I learned that a lot for myself. Like, I can't let other people hurt me. I can't let anything hurt me. Like, life is too short.
Yeah, to be like focused on one thing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
After my dad died, I tell people a lot that life is too short and you just gotta live.
Yeah.
Life is too beautiful.
And remember those like good moments that you had with the person. Focus on that because that'll like really carry you through a lot of stuff.
Learn how to forgive.
Exactly.
And if they're not willing to take the other side of forgiveness,
Yeah.
you did it for yourself.
I love that. Thank you, ladies, so much. I definitely appreciate you stopping and doing this interview with me. And we hope that you guys have a great one, okay?
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.